Louise Bedford here, your host of the Mind Over Market segment. This is how traders think. Now, today I have got an extra special guest for you. You are going to love him. A lot of you may know him already because he is the best-selling author of several books on the share market, and we'll go into that in just a moment. But Jerremy Newsome, welcome to the show.
I'm so pumped to be here. Unimaginably excited.
Oh, look, it's so wonderful. I'm so excited that you are a part of this. You are honestly such an inspiration to so many, including me, my friend. So, I'm going to tell people a little bit more about you for everybody who doesn't really know, because we have got a lovely personal story behind the scenes
We
with this.
we do. We do.
So, you currently have your brand new book out, Master Yourself, Master the Markets, but you're also the best-selling author of Money Grows on Trees and The Naked Trader, and some other books as well, which is just terrific, Jeremy. You're really a star. You have presented for my people, and I have loved your presentations. We have definitely derived so much benefit from not only your short-term trading psychology, but just generally how you approach life. We have presented on panels together, and one time you even saved me from drastic embarrassment. I posted up a photo on Facebook. I had no idea the furor that this would create. I didn't realize there was a double meaning. I just thought it was a pretty sculpture. And this is what I posted up on Facebook. Oh my goodness. So, for those of you listening and not watching, this is a ginormous eggplant. And if you don't know the double meaning, you're going to have to ask Jeremy because he had to explain it
Oh,
to me.
man.
So, that was rather unfortunate. And I have also enjoyed touring around Sydney on a luxury yacht with you. So, you are definitely up there in my top
Mm,
favoritist of all people, my beautiful
mm.
friend. Today, we're going to talk about from losing streaks to winning strategies. So, this is where AI meets intuition and how to trade short term with precision. Now, this interview is going to blow the lid off your trading results. I know you're going to love what Jeremy has to say. Jeremy, I know there are many things that I have missed out in your background. Any highlights that you'd like to bring on for the show so that people know a bit more about you?
You know what? I think the eggplant story is perfect. And just the fact that you're absolutely right. Like we have actually spent time together. And I know a lot of podcasts and interviews we might not have, and with guests, right? We might not have such a background. But here's the crazy part: you and I have known each other for we're going on almost 8 years, which is extremely long time. And it's really been a beautiful journey. And what I love about the journey of not only trading, but our background, but just backgrounds in general, is the person that you need to be in order to become a profitable trader, and the person that you need to continue to be to continue being profitable and being successful. We can't just stay there. You can't only do the exact same thing that got you there. You got to continue to innovate and change and update.
One of the things I wanted to talk about is because I keep on seeing you do these incredible challenges. You have actually inspired me. I know this sounds amazing, but you've inspired me to take a 5-second cold shower. You do like crazy levels where you lean into pain, where you do like a million push ups. And I just find that amazing. I want to start with that before we talk about AI and what's happening in the industry. Talk to me about how you lean into pain. What does this do for you as a trader?
I think it creates discipline. I mean, for me, and again, I could be incorrect, but the word discipline really generally means doing something you don't want to do when you don't want to do it for the greater good of you. We have rules, societal rules everywhere, constructs, both good and bad, that keep us from doing things, speed limit, stop signs. And these societal norms, if we break them, there's a consequence. But in trading, what's really the consequence? And the trueness is you can't and you shouldn't link negativity or pain with losing money because that's a guarantee. Just like if you are in competitive sports, you're going to lose a match. Can't win all of them. You got to lose something. So now, if you know for sure you're going to lose and you don't want to link negativity with losing money, what do you link negativity with, and or what do you link pain with? And my theory is, if you link pain with doing something incorrect, a system, your strategy, your rules, your process, the likelihood that you'll break that decreases significantly. And then once, as you know, Louise, as a trader, if you just stick to doing the exact same thing and get really repetitive and get really focused, you can create income. You can actually make money trading.
I like that. So if you're breaking your trading plan, then you relate that with pain, you pair those two so that you're more likely to follow your trading plan into the future. What do you teach your traders around recovery and relaxation?
I teach a lot of meditation, mindfulness practices, breathing, getting high on your own supply. That's the way to go. I mean, a lot of people have, right? I would assume, but many people have tried external circumstances to get them to altered mental states. And for me, I know it's harder or more challenging, but I like to get there naturally. And when I say altered states, I mean not being meditative, but actually meditating. There's a really beautiful quote: in prayer we ask, and in meditation we receive. And so it comes to this like spiritual alignment of calming your mind down, calming your brain down, really actually turning your brain off, or attempting to, for even the shortest period of time. Because even when you're sleeping, your brain's still going, right? It's defragmenting, it's dreaming. So the meditation allows you to go into an alpha state where your brain actually starts to relax and it starts to calm down, and you reduce your anxiety, you reduce your blood pressure, and you reduce your cholesterol, and you just can get more clarity, more awareness. And that's, for me, that's one of the things I walk people through, is absolutely practicing some level of meditation, some level of physical fitness, absolute awareness of how diet does impact your day and your life and your body. It's very hard to outwork a bad diet. So you got to be able to eat well and breathe well and move well. And if you're doing those three things, you're going to become a better person. And better people tend to trade better. And when they trade better, they make more money. And when you make more money, you can get happier. When you're happier, you trade better. And it becomes this really cool circle of opportunity and awareness and growth.
Yes. So it is something that we need to concentrate on as traders. I want to talk about some of the things that have been happening in the industry. You are across a lot of different technology, and I'm fascinated with your views about AI. AI can come across as a threat for people. Artificial intelligence, you hear of people saying, oh, well, we're all going to be out of jobs in 3 years. They actually feed into this fear of Skynet from all of the popular movies. But I want you to give us a grounding about how AI is revolutionizing the trading landscape. I'd love to hear about your thoughts of the future of trading.
Let's do that. Yes. So, I mean, when we're talking about artificial intelligence, first of all, there is absolutely an awareness that it is going to take jobs. No question. So keep that in mind. Like, AI is coming for your job. Doesn't matter if you're in sales, doesn't matter if you work at a gas station, petrol station, doesn't matter if you're a server. AI is coming, and it's not going to go away ever from here on out. Just like the internet. The internet took a lot of jobs too. The agricultural revolution took a lot of jobs. The industrial revolution took a lot of jobs. That's always going to change. And we as humans are going to have to get better. And we're going to have to start really thinking through, like you said, the future. One of the best things that we can do, probably as traders and investors and participants in the market, is sit down with other individuals and ask the exact question you just asked. Hey, how is AI going to impact this? What companies, and here's the foray to that. What companies are going to be impacted negatively, and which ones are going to thrive? Which ones are at the forefront of this? Who is really putting in time, energy, and effort into this? And for me, on the back end, so many companies are going to be going down the AI route. So many people are going to be interacting with artificial intelligence. Who's protecting all of this data? So cybersecurity is going to be extremely beneficial. And that's going to be an incredible sector to really, really study and understand. There's one company in particular that I love a lot in that space, and that's Palo Alto, ticker symbol PANW. They're actually reporting earnings right now, and they're gapping down overnight. And it's my personal belief that they will be much higher 5 months from now than they are right now. So a good buying opportunity if you're listening. And Palo
But of course,
Alto,
we don't give advice here. So just to
no,
counter that, it's
yeah,
just do your own
just my
research
opinion.
on this. Yes, do
Exactly.
your own
Just my
research.
opinion. Do your research, study. But that's the thing is like when you're asking these levels of questions, when we're sitting down, it gives you the ability, the book, right? One of the greatest books in the world, Think and Grow Rich. We got to think. So one of the questions I begin asking a lot of people is how are robots and or artificial intelligence, how's it going to pay itself? Like what currency is it going to use? It's going to use some type of currency. Can we interact with that currency? Can we invest in that currency? What computer systems are going to be used? What networks, what internet, what computer chips, what computers, what type of vehicles are going to benefit from AI the most? And then ultimately with the markets, my personal belief is I think within 5 to 10 years, 24/7 markets across the world. I think the options market in the US will be 24/7. The US markets will be 24/7. I think a lot of markets will open up because you will have exchanges that are run by AI and robots.
Yeah, they
And
don't
there
need to
are
sleep.
exactly. They don't need to sleep. They can continue to process orders, and that opens up more opportunities for us as traders. But this is an industry that, yes, we are going to be battling artificial intelligence. We still are. We will continue to do so. But that doesn't mean that you can't win because AI is still programmed by humans for the most part. And yes, it can learn on itself, and then it can extrapolate data and it can get better and get better and get better. But it also can understand, for me, I think bull trends are going to last longer. Bear trends are going to be even faster. And so you're going to have these really beautiful sequential moves that are very, very nicely up and very, very nicely down, which just presents opportunities for us as individuals and people that are trading with the markets.
And I think some sectors will be impacted more than others. Some groups of people will be impacted more than others. I often
Tell me
think
more.
when the CD came in and it replaced records, I know records are going through a retro revival, but CDs came in, all the people who were only making CDs but they hadn't broadened out their skill set, they were in jeopardy. So one of the things that I think AI is telling us is that we need to look at our skill sets. We need to stack our skill sets so that we have one basic skill set, but then we broaden out from there and we get deeper and deeper with our skills. And that includes us as traders. If you are only trading one market and you only know how to make money in one direction, you have got problems. I always tell my traders, trade 3 markets and more than one time frame. So maybe not initially, maybe not in the first year, but that should be the overall goal. Because if you can't chop and change and absolutely change your view based on data, then that will impact your results as a trader.
Yes. Yeah. And for me, like imagine using AI to help your trading, right? Have it calculate all the data. Have it tell you what you're good at. Have it use and I mean, from a performance standpoint, I think humans are about to go next level in an amazing way because you're going to start analyzing your blood sugar, your glucose levels, your heart rate, your cholesterol on a daily, hour to hour, minute by minute basis, and you start taking that data, connecting it to the markets, connecting to how you're trading, connecting to your performance, you're going to start being able to click buttons to know, should I even trade today or not? Using brain waves, right? Using, are you in the zone? How do you feel? Are you optimized? We're going to be able to do that with athletes. Wearable tech is going to be a humongous industry in the next 5 to 6 years, right? Actual like t-shirts that can tell you your blood pressure, right? I mean, this is amazing thing. I think it's an incredible revolution, but like you mentioned, we need to learn how to use it. We need to learn how to operate it. We need to be able to be flexible and to blend into it instead of living in fear and scarcity, which people can, and you're allowed to. It's a lot easier, it's more enjoyable, and it's more prosperous to live in abundance and prosperity.
Oh, absolutely. And this must have taken you a lot of time to be able to come around to this because Jeremy, you were raised in a cult. How did you reprogram your thinking from being in a cult to being this abundance, lack of scarcity person? I'd love to hear how you managed that because I think it gives a lot of people hope.
Thanks, Elise. Yeah, well, you've heard of the cult a lot. The Jehovah's Witnesses. I was born into it, so I have 24 years of in-depth experience with that particular religion. And what I did, number one, and the best thing to do is experience things that are going to scare you or terrify you. Right. So for me, from 24 to 27, I forcefully put my body into other religious experiences. Everything from Hindu to speaking in tongues to Buddhism to meditation to prayer to universalism to atheism. Like I started going through all different levels. And so the lesson there is if you're going to truly transcend and change your mind, you're going to have to be in an environment that allows for minds to change. And the biggest change is going to come from generally discomfort or fear. That's what we are as humans designed to do. We are designed to change and optimize when we're in that state of fear. And so for me, that was one of the ways I did it. Number two, I read a lot of books. I challenged my beliefs. So many of your listeners have a belief about something, whatever it is, religion, stock market, politics, men and women, energy, money. How do you know what you believe? Like, how do you really know? And how often have you challenged it? I love challenging my beliefs and I love buying books that I might not generally buy. I see you have a beautiful shelf behind you.
Yes.
And right. And there's a lot of books in there that might be either semi-controversial or they might have talked about things that you didn't think before you read it. And what it did is it just gave you the smallest adjustment. And if you adjust something over time enough, it's like a cross-Atlantic trip, right? If you just change 1 degree, instead of going to Florida, you're going to be in Aruba, right? Just one little degree of a change, it's going to create a whole different destination. And so it's putting your body, mind, spirit in different places, different locations, physically, mentally, and then reading a bunch of books. Those two things, as easy and basic as they do sound, those are the journeys that I spent a lot of time, energy, effort, and money on so that I can start shifting my beliefs and understanding new opinions and perspectives.
Does it get easier?
It does. It does get a lot easier. Yeah. It's a great example. I mean, you talked about the physical thing. It's kind of like running a marathon. Very first marathon I ever ran was April 5th, 2020. And since then, in 4 years, I've done over 70. And again, I don't know. Some of them are better than others, but I can tell you this. I can do a marathon tomorrow. No training. Just get up and go do one. It'd be great. That one's going to be a lot easier than my very first one. And then if you go back 8 years, let's just say 2018 for easy measures, I couldn't even dream of doing a full distance triathlon, right? Also known as an Ironman. That wasn't even a possibility. And to date, now I've done 3 of those. And just being aware that it gets easier once you put more time, energy, effort, and specifically repetition. Repetition is the mother of mastery. And the more you repeat something, the more you get better at it, the better you'll become, the quicker you'll become.
Listen to what Jeremy is saying because he is applying a principle in one area of his life and it has helped his trading in another. So that ability to get out of your comfort zone, to be able to see a little bit further and perhaps even challenge the thing that scares you, poke that bear and go there and realize the bear's just a teddy bear. That's what we're talking about here. I'm loving it, Jeremy.
Awesome. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. So good.
And when you've got these extreme emotions in trading, because you've handled them in other avenues, has that helped you with your own trading to be able to tame those emotions and perhaps even just accommodate those emotions, not necessarily repress them, because I think so many people just try and squash those emotions down, and that can be where they'll spring up in another format. So
Mhm.
you seem to be able to just absorb and to be able to go, yeah, I'm feeling uncomfortable. This is awkward. This is horrid, but I can live with it. How do you do that?
Took a long time. Yeah, it took a while. I think it just took what you mentioned there is just really asking the question and not allowing yourself to come up with a basic answer like, oh, I'm fine. Right? Don't give yourself those answers and put yourself in positions where, let's say you will go walk barefoot on hot pavement. Okay. And when you're on that pavement, you're like, I'm hot. Like, well, you're not really hot. Okay. What are you? Like, oh, I'm in pain. Or are you in pain? Well, my feet are burning because the pavement is hot. It's like, well, is it? Can you come up with any other definition? Can you come up with any other emotion? And you can say, like, well, I'm feeling frustrated because I can't get off the hot heat. It's like, oh, cool. New emotion. As we start to interact with emotions, for me, again, with the way this relates to trading is imagine you sitting down at the computer and going, how do I feel right now? And being able to answer and going, I probably shouldn't trade today. I'm off. And that could save you so much money as a trader, just knowing when not to trade. Or, oh, I'm feeling so good. I'm juiced up. I'm jacked. I'm ready to go. I'm calm. I'm collected. I did all my work the previous day. I'm ready to interact with the markets, even just knowing that. I think the thing that absolutely helped me the most was recognizing that there are a lot more emotions and trying to actually label them with words because
Oh,
it's easier.
yes.
It's easier for you, right, Louise? Because you're a beautiful woman, and for us guys, like we're cavemen. We don't know anything. We're
There
just
is
drag.
research around this actually. There is research around granularity of emotion. I don't know if you're familiar with this research, but the
Tell me.
more defined you can be, the more specific you can be with your words around what you're feeling, the more likely you're able to move through those
Yes.
emotions with grace, and that they will actually assist your performance rather than deplete your performance. So that
Mm,
granularity of emotion has actually been a source of study, especially over the last 5 years.
I love that term too. And if you can send me some books on it, I'd love to read it because, for example, there's definitely a distinction between frustrated and annoyed. Now, it's a unique distinction, but there is one. And if you can start coming up with that term, you can start feeling it differently. You can start describing, right? Maybe frustrated is how you're feeling, annoyed is someone made you feel that way. And once you know that and you can start addressing it, labels do help. They absolutely
Yes.
help, especially when it comes to emotions, because then you can have conversations with people. You can actually tell them how you're feeling. And what a game changer that is to let your spouse know how you're feeling, to let your business partner, whoever.
Yeah. And the other thing I feel that that's related to is the one word mantra. So, this in weightlifting, this is really common, but in trading, it's not so common. So, let's apply it from the weightlifting arena. Before you do a big weight, then what you say to yourself is one word to encapsulate the thing that you want to portray in that perfect lift. So for me, it's strong. So before I do a big deadlift, I say strong, 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 strong. And then I get into the right position to lift. And as I'm lifting, the only thing that I've got echoing through my mind like a bell is the word strong. Now, for a trading perspective, the thing that I try to do here, and it's always a work in progress, we never quite make it, but consistent. So before I sit down, I'm going consistent, consistent, consistent,
Mm.
consistent. But there are other words people use. What are your thoughts about that as a technique?
Girl, I love that. Come on. Because that sounds to me, it's very similar to potentially affirmations.
Yes.
And really, affirmations is what you're affirming. And you know this, but your words create the world that you live in. And so if you want something, you need to speak it into existence. And as you speak things into existence, you're speaking emotions, you're speaking phrases, you're speaking thoughts. That's what becomes reality. And if you want to change your reality, change your words. 100%.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, look, you've just got so many good ideas. I'm trying to work out, because we are limited with our time, the most important things here, because, Jeremy, I could talk with you for hours. What advice do you have for traders looking to achieve financial success in the markets, but also on a broader scale, financial success and serenity in their life?
The best advice I have is find out what that actually means. Like, what is the number? And so many people come up with a really arbitrary number. I don't like it. They're like, oh, I want $1 million. Where did you hear that from? Like, why that number? Who told you that being a millionaire is cool? Because for many people, Luis, and I don't know, right? Maybe not. But for many people, $40,000 a month would change their life so dramatically, right? So dramatically. They wouldn't even recognize themselves. And that's me over here going, well, that's not $1 million though. And so if you just say $1 million and there's no emotion, or using the word emotion, connected to that number, then it becomes arbitrary and just kind of becomes faint and into the distance, and it's not clear. But if you can go, I need and I want $40,000 a month, and this is exactly how much interaction with the market I need to really create that amount of income, that is a whole different ballgame, because then you can get extreme clarity. When you have extreme clarity, the likelihood that you're going to actually have what it is that you want increases dramatically. I don't know what the percentage is, but it's more than one. And so if you can go, all right, this is what I want. This is what actual like happiness, abundance, prosperity feels like. And this is what it looks like. And this is the number for me. You can work backwards. You can reverse engineer it. And once you have that clarity, own it, live in it, and then achieve it.
What about, though, for the people that get target lock and then they force trades because they think, I have to earn 20,000 a month, or whatever the case is. I have to earn that. And so then they force trades to be in line with that.
Yeah, totally. When people are doing that, my theory is this: have you figured out how often you actually need to take a trade? Because that number, right, $400,000 or $40,000 a month, what time is important to you? Meaning, because your $40,000 could be an average, and it usually is, by the way. In every business that I've ever been a part of, it's always an average. And so for me, I say to myself, could you make $400,000 on one trade? And if that one trade takes 18 hours of practice studying, and then takes 2 minutes to actually put into the broker, and you got to leave it alone for 8 months, and then you sell it, does that count? And some people are like, well, I guess it kind of counts, maybe. But then they go, what am I going to do with all that extra time? And I say to them, exactly. You got to get clear on all those aspects, because you don't want to sit in front of your computer all day and get stressed out, like you said, about target lock. It's going to be an average. You're going to want some level of clarity of where you're going, but don't worry about the how. Just worry about the what. You can always be surprised in the how. I had no idea that Louise Bedford and Chris Tate would give me a moment in my life that on a luxury yacht going around the Sydney Harbor with some amazing people, I had no clue that that would be an opportunity in my lifetime until it happened. And that was one of the moments that shifted my life so dramatically. So my big pleading beg is for all of the listeners here to reach out to Louise and ask her, what other events do you have where you can shift my life like you shifted Jeremy's? Because if you take her up on it, she knows how to give you the mental stimulus, the physical stimulus, and the information to give you such a dramatic and humongous life-changing course that your whole life will be altered and it'll be better.
Jeremy, you are a beautiful man. How can people get in touch with you, and what should their next step be?
I would just reach out to me on social media. I think that's probably the best way. I have a really great social media team. They're incredible. So just reach out to me, shoot me a message anywhere on whatever you use. I'm all over the place. I'm on the things. and shoot me a message and let me know how I can best assist anyone who reaches out. Just tell me what you're doing, tell me where you're at, and tell me how I can pour into you, and I'll be happy to do so.
Jerremy Newsome, your new book, Master Yourself, Master the Markets, something that everybody should read as a trader, finding internal greatness and financial freedom. Now, Jerremy, I'll just warn everybody that your name is spelled with double R, Jerremy, because that can be a trick, a little bit of a catch for new players. Thank you so much for your time, Jerremy. I just adore you and I adore spending time with you.
Thank you. Back at you, Rockstar.